thank you for tuning into Tonal Distancing. This episode is with Alex Alexion, great performer, great artist, great pianist, does a little acoustic guitar work as well. Had a great conversation with her. This is leading up to a gig that we're both playing on Saturday, March 5th in Brooklyn at Brooklyn Music Kitchen. So Alex Alexion is playing. I'm playing with Kanem and the Diamond Dogs. Also, Rubin Brothers Circus, who I've also talked to recently, as well as Genique is playing. So come out if you're in Brooklyn. We'd love to see you there. Anyways, enjoy the episode.
To my ears, you can sit with us.
Hello, I'm here with Alex. We're playing a gig Saturday, March 5th at Brooklyn Music Kitchen with Rubin Brothers Circus and Genique. And so, we were just talking. You don't always get like a bunch of opportunities to talk to the other artists at every gig, maybe at the length that you want. And so we're trying to do that beforehand, get to know each other, and get to know about Alex and her music. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Alex? Introduce yourself, your musical style, maybe where you started out and where you're going.
Yeah. I'm from like a little town in Massachusetts. So I've been out in the city here for about 11 years. But it's just me, and I'm just kind of a solo artist and just into like that songwriting kind of like indie kind of feel. I like had been playing piano like since I can remember. Like I don't think I remember a time not playing piano, which is kind of a cool thing to say and feel. So yeah, a lot of my songs are based on around piano, and I'm starting to learn or get better at guitar, and so I'm sprinkling that in there with some music, and so
you can't remember. So I always think it's really cool when someone has had an instrument with themselves for so long. Was it like your parents that just got you the piano? Is it like that classical route, or was it like you were at grandma's and you just kept on annoying her by playing chopsticks, and then she's like, "We got to get her lessons."
That's it. That's exactly what happened. We lived with my grandmother, and I saw the movie Big. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Is that with Tom Hanks? Or okay.
Tom Hanks, and he like jumps on that big, huge piano, and they play chopsticks. And I was like, I want to learn that. And then that was it. The rest is history.
That's so perfect.
You got it. That's awesome.
So yeah, I know you said you mainly play piano. You're starting to play more guitar a little bit. I listened to some of your music, and I definitely obviously hear the piano there. That's really incredible. As a person that plays guitar and has touched a piano here and there, it's just like a whole other world. Like it's like trying to play guitar and drums at the same time. That's the best way I can describe it.
That's exactly how I feel about guitar. It's like it's a whole other world, and I'm forcing myself to like get it, but my brain is not getting it. My brain wants to play it just like a piano, and it's not understanding that we should be doing this. And so I'm forcing myself, but it's a different world for sure.
And then with your recording and everything, are you doing all the tracks on that as well, or are you working with other people
No.
to get some of those things out?
Yeah, it's I record down in Bronxville at a studio, and for the most part, it's just me on the two main instruments, and then we'll add some production here and there, kind of play with some stuff, but otherwise no any no band.
It sounds great. I think you have kind of nailed a really you really cut through in all the mixes and everything. So those elements that you're really playing really come out well, but you do balance them well out. And the things I've heard, I was listening to Digging Deep a lot because I also have a song called Digging Deeper. So I was just like, let's hear how these sound different. And they sound a lot different, but I really enjoy your music. I hope it's not like weird to say. I think I got like maybe like a tinge of like Annie DeFranco vibes from your music, and I was like, just the power in your voice and how you come across is it connected with me a lot, and I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, that means a lot. She's a huge inspiration for me, so that's amazing. Thank you. Yeah,
you're welcome. And then I know you wanted to talk about, you have some new music, kind of where that can be found, and we'll kind of dissect it a little bit. So you want to tell us about your new music and what's going on?
Yeah. So, start of the pandemic, I kind of made this like personal goal of doing releasing a single once a month, and I stayed true to that for a year, and then I kind of branched off a little bit, so it's like more like once every 2 months. Um, but yeah, so I have two songs coming out this spring. One is called "Something's Missing," and it's like the quintessential breakup song, but it has this like kind of revved up chorus where you're like picking yourself back up. And another one following that called "Sit with Us," and that one is just a solely piano song with me singing, and it's it's sort of about kind of like breaking the gender roles. For me, being in the queer LGBTQ community, I'm often mistaken for a man, and it's been frustrating for me because I've been like, am I not feminine enough, and what is femininity, and why can't I just be a woman? Like, just because I don't wear a dress, or I don't have long flowing hair and wear a ton of makeup, like I'm still a woman, and I still love that I'm a woman. And so the song is about that, and just wanting to be accepted, and realizing that everybody's different, and you can sit with us. It's yeah.
So, when you were writing "Sit with Us," kind of how did the song develop? Did you like focus on the chorus? Was that really important to you, or if it's a kind of that verse chorus sort of song, was that really important to you, or were some of the other bits of like the storytelling through the song important, and you focus on those and then try to tie it together with "Sit with Us"?
I think in what I do, a lot of times I kind of get into the habit where I do music first, and then I kind of go with the lyrics. So I never really sit down and say, I'm going to write about this. It's more like I sit down and I play some chords, and I'm like, okay, this makes me feel like this. And then lyrics will go from there. But I mean, I knew that it was something that I was struggling with and was in the front of my mind. So it kind of just, it sort of just falls out sometimes. But yeah, the chorus it's meant to be sort of like this powerful, like uplifting thing. And I'm taking something that I feel insecure about, and something that I struggle with, but like trying to look at it in a positive light.
What's like the most powerful line that you connect with the most in the song? Because it's always tricky when you write a song. There's those lines that you're like, oh, this is brilliant. I feel this so much, and not
Yeah.
everyone gets that on their end.
Yeah.
But this is your chance to tell us which one should we be paying attention to, and why it's there, and like what's the story behind that line.
So it goes into the bridge, and it's just kind of like these higher notes get hit, and it says, well, I got some news for you. It is 2022, and maybe it's the clothes I wear, and maybe it's the way that I sit in this chair. So it's kind of just like, it's just, you get with the times, like people look different. Like maybe it's not going to be relevant in 2023. So I hope it has its heyday in 2022. But yeah, so I think like when it gets to that peak of that bridge, it's like, I hope that like people are really like, yeah, you know.
I got some news for you. It is 2022. Maybe it's the clothes I wear, or the way that I sit in this chair. Well, I'll keep.
So is that where like you feel like you want the people to feel the energy the most, and like that's where you kind of felt the most like connected to those lines?
Absolutely. I sort of like slow down, and I'm kind of just like, this is like what this song is about. I mean, of course, the sit with us part, like it's just kind of like this melodic chorus where you can sit with us, you can sit with us, and like kind of cute. But like this other part is like, hey, like listen to me right now. Like the world is progressing, and we've come so far, and like this is what I want you to hear. Yeah. I even mentioned Converse shoes in there somehow.
Why Converse? Are you just a huge fan of them?
Honestly, it goes back to a memory in elementary school, middle school. Like my parents would try to put me in dresses, and I was like, as long as I can wear my Converse shoes, like that's fine. Okay, so I kind of like reference that in there, like I'll keep wearing these Converse shoes just like I did in middle school.
No, that's a perfect reference. It's those little tidbits that bring a life to the song.
Well, I'll keep rocking these Converse shoes just like I did in middle school. Maybe it's that I like to swear. Have you thought about why should you care?
I haven't dealt with those things personally in terms of someone, a parent telling me what I can and can't wear. But that little detail of keeping true to yourself
Yeah.
in those small forms, especially when when you're living through a life where you have an authority figure as a kid, I think that will be something that, your audience will definitely connect with. Um, Anything else like that, or is like there's like a hidden gem? Are there any other shoes that you reference? Are you trying to get it sponsored by Converse or?
Yeah, it's funny. Like when I recorded it in the studio last week, they were like, "You trying to get a Converse? Like trying to get some rainbow Converse sent to you?" And I was like, "No, but I just
Send
want
her
people."
rainbow Converse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. That sounds great. I will wear those for sure.
But is there anything else like that where there's like a small story behind like a verse lyric or just a small detail where you were like, you know what? I try to think back to uh I guess one of the most recent songs I've written was the song called What You Love. And what happens a lot of the times when I'm writing songs is I'm just in a room. Hopefully there's a window so I can stare out a window and like just kind of maybe a red car comes by and I can reference that. But
Yeah.
I used to live in Detroit, and I used to be able to see a casino, and I came up with this line like you can bet on red, is that where you put it all until it all goes black. Um
Ooh, ooh.
I forget what the next line. I should remember. I need to remember these lyrics for the gig. But is there anything
Yeah.
like that where you just saw something or you
Um,
remembered something while you were playing?
I don't know if there was anything like that, but there is another, one of I think it's the last chorus where, I try to say like, I try to act like it doesn't hurt inside. We both have red stuff going through our veins. We're the same, but there are things that I think about that you'll never have to think about. And it's, and I'm not trying to separate from the classic straight person by any means, but I do feel judgment, and I do feel a lot of people look at me and they're like trying to figure out what I am, and I hate it. Like, just that, why are you trying to put me in this box? Like, I'm just a person, and like, you don't need to put a label on me, you don't need to figure me out. Like, that's it. And yeah, so it's sort of like putting myself in a very, very vulnerable way, and like, and letting people have that insight as to an insecurity that I have.
Someone and stepping back, we are the same. We got red stuff going through our veins, but there are things that I think about that you'll never have to think about.
I think just even that line of we both have red going through our veins. You're not saying there's so many human characteristics about the heart, the blood, and everything, and just that
Yeah,
imagery really helps to kind of say, what's the real difference in
yeah,
and not in a precise way. Not, I wouldn't say a simple way, but a precise way.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I second guessed it for a second because I was like, is it blue when it's inside your vein, or like, how does that work? But
Oh, it's stupid biology class.
yeah, skipped that. Whoops.
So, what was like the writing So you talked about the writing process being you start on the instrument and then you kind of have a flow of lyrics come from
Yeah,
you. And it sounds like for this song, you focused on kind of the chorus and then building out from there
right.
primarily, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I started with a pretty simple chorus, nothing crazy, and then I kind of like, dip into the verses where it's like actually telling my story, and it's sort of telling why I'm writing the song in the first place.
Okay. And then I guess when it comes to writing this song and then all of the other songs that you've been like putting out, because you said you've been doing really great with your schedule, which I completely admire. What kind of routine or process did you put in place to make sure you are hitting your goals?
I mean, it's funny. I struggle with, I feel like at times I write too much. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're good. It
Yeah.
just means that I'm half writing a ton of songs, and I forget that I even wrote one over here and one's over here. And so the reason that I put this in place was so I would write one and finish it, And so yeah, I'm never really like sitting down saying, okay, I got to write a song. It's more like I got to slow down in writing these songs. But yeah, back to, it's always usually the instrument first, and then kind of just going with like where that's taking me, what kind of feelings I'm having, and then the lyrics kind of go from there.
So do you in terms of getting that done though, is it like, do you like say, all right, these first 2 weeks I'm getting all the instrumentation down, and then the next 2 weeks I'm getting all the lyrics down to really kind of finish the project?
Yeah, I mean, I work a lot. I'm a bartender as well,
Okay.
so it's hard to balance both of those. But I have 2 days off a week, so I try to make a list of like, okay, this is my day off. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure this verse is good. I'm going to make sure this bridge is good. Um, but I mean, generally, I try to just give myself 2 weeks to get it from beginning to end. But I don't want to force it either,
Yeah.
because you run the risk of putting out shit. So, but yeah, I try to give myself 2 weeks, and then I try to have it in the studio within a month and recorded and official.
I mean, that's really impressive. I mean, the work ethic is something I'm always trying to work on, because it gets tough trying to like think of songs, and like you said, I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't put out shit, but I don't think you do. So I'll say that for you.
That's very nice. Thank you.
But it is hard. Like even
Yeah,
if you do just put out shit, it's just hard to put it out.
I have
Um,
shit. Trust me, I have shit. There's shit I put out, and it's shit. There's songs that I've put out, and I'm like, why did I do that? That's bad. But
I don't. I think ultimately every song I've written and put out has helped me in some way.
yeah,
And sometimes it's just getting that one out of the way, and then I can kind of keep going and find the
yeah,
good ones.
yeah. That's a
Uh,
good way to say it. Like I'm writing this because I have to, and then I'm gonna go somewhere else. Yeah.
I think maybe with that I focus on quantity a lot, and I think of people like I'm not saying Neil Young has any bad songs, but I think of Neil Young, and like his catalog is just huge. Like he like wrote a record almost every year, at least every other year.
Super prolific. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then you just go and listen to his greatest hits. And
Yeah,
you're like,
right.
oh.
It's true. Yeah.
So I'm hoping I get there someday, but I'll do it song by song. Um, but I guess bring it back to you do your recording, you kind of get you work in the studio, you get a band together on some of the tracks, and then when you play live, do you just focus on just doing the piano and the vocals?
Yeah. Yeah. I've thought about doing like the TV tracks where you kind of like plug in your whatever you did in the studio and then just singing.
Yeah.
But I have not done that. I've seen people do it. Um, Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it at the show. I don't know. But for the most part, I just feel more comfortable behind my piano, and like it's kind of like security blanket type thing. So yeah.
I completely understand. Much like how some of the music I've put out has been, I got that out of the way. I've done something, and I feel good that I've done something. There was like a moment in time where I was just playing and singing to like playing guitar and singing to like some backing tracks, and it
Mhm.
worked. Um,
Okay.
but it felt it felt kind of disjointed because I was so used to playing with bands previously, and
Yeah.
then eventually I got a band together because I couldn't deal with that anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about your music, about your life, about your cat?
um, no, I mean, I guess I just want to. Did I mention where everything was?
Let us know
Yeah,
where it is.
they're everywhere. Yeah. It should be. Yeah, I mean, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. I think like I'm not on Tidal. I think that's one of the only things I'm not really on. Or SoundCloud. I don't really. I haven't messed with that too much. But any
Yeah.
major platform, any of the releases in the last year are there. So yeah, I definitely want people to look out for Sit With Us. which will be this spring, and Something's Missing, which will be actually even before that.
Okay, nice. Do you have official dates yet, or not yet?
Something's Missing will be March 18th. I don't have official dates for Sit With Us.
So March 18th, go listen.
Friday, yes, go listen. Break up music.
Yeah, there we go. What better time to break up when it starts getting warm, so you can go out there and meet new people.
Yes, exactly.
This has been really great talking to you. Again, Alex Alexion. I'm playing with Kanem and the Diamond Dogs. There's Rubin Brothers Circus and Genique, all playing Saturday, March 5th at Brooklyn Music Kitchen. So if you're in Brooklyn, if you're in New York, come check us out.
Yes, absolutely. Check us out.
All right. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
Music to my ears, you can sit with us. Music to